Oh, every week I ask, are you filming? And of course he has been for the last 3 hours. Right. I've got to start. I hate this bit. I hate the start bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. There's a lot of people who watch 50 and Coping and anything else that I do that have seen over the years that I used to be part of the biker community, both positive and negative, but I have recently met, through the drummer from Distorted Breed, a group of bikers who are not in any way doing the wrong thing. The reason that I say that is because there's a negative stipulation in the world about bikers and clubs and all of that. And because civilians, as we'll call them, don't understand the differentiation between a 1%er and a non-1% club, it's really difficult for you guys at home to understand the reality that this biker club, the Kaotic Angels, are doing great work. And they're literally feeding people week in, week out. And we're lucky enough to have Spectre with us. It's nice for you to be here, mate. Thank you.
Oh, it's good to be here. Thanks, man.
Before we get into club and politics, I want to find out about you because I don't know anything about you.
Yeah, fair enough. So from my dodgy accent, I'm obviously not native English born and bred. My dad's English, my mum's South African.
Right.
I was born and raised in South Africa, where I lived there for 16 years. My dad came over here for work. He was born in Cambridge and he came back for work. And sadly, I was hijacked and kidnapped in South Africa.
Right.
Went through that and survived that. And my dad said, that's it. You're coming to England.
Right. Kidnapped by who?
People.
Right.
For the want of a better word, people.
Right. So
That sounded far too normal.
Strangers. It was
criminals for money?
Yeah, for the car. They wanted the car. So we were hijacked for the car. It was a car that they wanted. It wasn't a great car, mate. It was a Toyota Corolla, but it was apparently it was the police said it was a gang over there that steals to order, and our car was on order. The sad thing is that I was driving at the time because my mom was a large lady, bless her soul. She had just had a knee operation and I was driving home.
Right.
And I said to her, we're being followed. And typical mom, she went, you've seen too many movies. And I was like, okay, we're being followed.
Yeah.
And then she went, no, look, the lights have gone off. Oh, no, okay, fair enough. And in South Africa, all of the properties are gated community type things. So I pulled up and I beeped the horn and my niece opened the curtain and hit the buzzer for the gate, and I just saw her eyes go really big. I looked over my shoulder and I saw a guy running towards the car.
Right.
I thought, well, 16, Jack the lad, yeah.
Yep, I'll have that.
Jumped out the car and had a 9mm put in my face, and I went, keys are in the car, take the car and go.
Yep.
And he just looked at me and he went, no, tonight you die. And I went, okay.
That's not what you can do.
Not going to argue with a man with a gun.
Yeah.
And that was it. They two went round to my mother's side, pulled her out the car. They were pulling her wedding rings off her fingers and things like that. With her just having the operation, I put her down the side and said, look, just lay down. They haven't covered their faces and stuff. And whilst I was there, they picked me up and put me in the car.
Right.
And that was it. Anyway, moving on from there, I came over to England and decided that seeing as I had such a traumatic time, I'm going to join the British military.
Right.
So
Perfect sense.
Yeah. So I joined the army.
Yep.
So I served in the British military. I then left the military. I then served in the British police.
Oh, okay.
Where I specialised into armed response. Right. And I was an armed response ARV officer.
Okay.
Then left there, went into security and stuff, and now I run my own business.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Okay. So whistle stop tour of Spectre. Coming from South Africa to England, the transition, was that helped by being in the military with the structure? Is that...
The structure was, I mean, the funniest story I ever had was when I first came over, I moved to Thorn in Doncaster.
Right.
And I said to my dad, if another person calls me a duck, I'm going to throw hands.
Right.
Because everyone called me a duck. And I said, is it the way I walk or what? And he went, no, it's a colloquialism.
Yeah.
They call everyone duck. No one's mocking you or anything.
Love that.
And I was like, oh, he went, this isn't South Africa. Don't throw hands. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
He said 9 times out of 10, people are just being nice. And I was like, well, why call me a duck? He went, it's like babe. It's what they say. So there was a lot of readjustment at 16.
Yeah.
Didn't have any friends or anything like that. Thankfully, I had football. Came over and there was and the military was my dad being my dad, bless him, he went, you had a pretty shitty time in South Africa, so I'll give you 6 months and then tell me what you're doing with your life. And I was like, foreign country, don't know anyone, don't even know the language.
Yeah.
And I decided to walk to the recruiting office where I met a wonderful recruiting sergeant called Chris Leader. I'm still mates with him.
Brilliant.
Every time I go to Holland, I still touch base with him because he now lives there.
Yep.
And he basically guided me through joining the military.
Okay.
And that's where I went, found my home.
Do you want to share the regiment or who you joined?
Yeah. I was part of 16 Air Assault Brigade. I was a Royal Logistics radio operator.
Cool. I want to say, and I'm not being a dick, but thank you for what you did in the military. I respect servicemen and people around. Obviously, we work with Walking with the Wounded and a lot of other charities. When you came out and moved into security, a lot of people do that. Like, so, you know, you've been a police officer. Arm response is quite fruity, or, you know, front of it, guns, all of that. When you transition to civilian life, that always interests me. Did you cope with that? Was that something you needed help with?
The structure from the military coming into the police was very similar.
Yeah.
And that's what I found quite easy because the police have SOPs, the military have SOPs, rules of engagement, etc.
Yeah.
So joining the policing brotherhood, and that's where you get a little bit distorted, is that you think that the police is very much like the military brotherhood, and it's not. No. Because you fit into someone's remit for promotion and they've got to challenge something and you fall into that. And in the police, and not speaking bad, I've got a lot of respect for the police, but it is very dog-eat-dog world over there. And a lot of people talk about police corruption and things like that. I never saw any police corruption because there were too many police there that were ready to gross on anyone for doing anything.
Okay.
So I never saw any of that. Now, coming from your walk of life, my walk of life, there's good and bad in every job. There's good and bad doctors. There's good and bad everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm not saying that there are no bad police officers. I'm just saying I didn't see any in my time.
Yeah.
But the structure of being regimented and being disciplined certainly helped with me getting in the police.
Yeah.
And going through. I didn't go to join firearms.
No.
It wasn't something that I was going to do. I wanted to be a normal regular response officer and do that.
Yeah.
Someone read my file and got in contact and said, you need to apply to armed response.
Okay.
And I went, don't really want to do that. Carried guns, and I ended up doing that. Yeah. So it was a path. And to be perfectly honest and brutally honest, the main reason I did it is because they don't do a lot of paperwork.
No, very true.
So you used to get all of the Gucci fruity stuff, and then you used to pass it on to division and go, I haven't arrested him. I've just detained him. Yeah. So you arrest him and you got a court. I'm going to bounce to the next job.
Got to go. Cheers.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, we're off firearms job up north. So that's where I went, and that's what I enjoyed doing. And I loved the police, but the politics killed it.
Yep.
And not going too political, but there were things where Home Secretary was making certain changes at the time, and it was going to get a lot of people hurt, single crewing police officers, etc., because of the numbers, and they want you to fight crime, but fight crime nicely. And you're like, how do I fight crime nicely?
Yeah.
I then ended up and went, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. I'm out.
The trouble with fighting crime is if you can't fight crime with the same level of violence or the same level of intent or the same level of whatever, you're onto a loser. And I don't know anything about being in the police force. I do not, but the criminal side of things I do know about. And I'll tell you this now: I knew walking down any road that I had the upper hand because they wouldn't take me down.
Yeah.
And that's that. Nowadays, of course, I am more saint than I am criminal.
Yeah.
But I still use street smarts to do my job today. So all that accumulation of knowledge through the different things I've done have ended up here.
Yeah.
And I think where do you... Right, so Chaotic Angels, I need to explain, is a charity, is it not, as well as a club? Or is that right?
So it started off as, and still is, a law enforcement motorcycle club.
Yep.
And that is because we wanted the brotherhood that the military and the police was lacking.
Yep.
And also, we didn't have a choice. Because of my occupational choice, I couldn't join a traditional motorcycle club. And I kind of thought, well, why should I miss out on riding with my group of friends and enjoying the Brotherhood of Steel
Yep.
just because of a job I did that I actually left because of politics and stuff.
Yep.
But because I had just done it, I could never join. I couldn't even join. I'm not going to say the name out of respect, but I couldn't even join an all-military club.
No.
Because I'd been a police officer.
Yep.
And even military police can't join a military club because they were police.
Yeah.
And I'm of the opinion, well, if you've got nothing to hide, you take anyone in your club.
Yeah.
Not anyone, obviously, people that meet the remit.
Got you.
So I decided, well, going to make my own club.
Mm-hmm.
And I then got in touch. We were at the Battlefield Tour in Belgium, where loads of bike clubs, law enforcement clubs, all go. A place hosted by Locks and Bikes, and we went there. And I bumped into the founder of the Kaotic Angels, Little Tex from Texas. Typical Little Tex. He's not little, but he is Texan.
Well, at least half of it's true.
That's it. And I got talking to him, and he said, "Well, if you want to join, we'll look at it." And I left it. I left it for a while, and I thought, do I really want to do something like that? Do I want to shoulder the responsibility and starting a club in England on your own?
So there was no Chaotic Angels in England.
No,
until you.
Yes, there wasn't even talk. They weren't an international club. They were just in America.
And how long ago was this?
5 years ago now. And they were
5. Is that all?
Yeah, 5 years.
Holy shit! You've come a long way in 5 years.
Charity's only been running for 3.
Right.
So, I then after a while decided, you know what, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I reached out to Little Tex, and him and the vice president flew over.
Right.
Because they don't post patches in the mail.
No.
They flew over and they presented me my colours, and they said, right, you're a nomad. It's on you.
Okay. So prospect, no, full colours.
So I was given full colours with a probationary period.
Yep.
So if I did anything to disrespect the club, they'd come and get my colours.
Yep.
But their philosophy was I couldn't be a prospect in a foreign country without a full patch.
Absolutely.
And to represent the patch, I had to have full colours.
Yep.
In my country because I was the only one.
Yeah.
So
that's a lonely place to be.
Oh yeah. It's very lonely. It's very scary as well when you ride, because I ride on my own, and when I ride my bike, I wear my colours. It doesn't matter where I'm at.
Yep.
I wear my colours because at the end of the day, those that know of me and know that I'm in a club, if I'm riding without my colours, they're going to look and go, well, why are you riding without your colours?
Yep.
So I'd rather just wear them.
Every backpatch club that exists in any kind of stable, be it 1% or not, right? I'm going to explain to you what 1% means. Back in the 60s, there was a big hoo-ha in America where all of these bikers turned up and destroyed this town. And the American Motorcycle Association, to reassure the world, told them that it's only 1% of all motorcyclists aren't law-abiding citizens. So 99% of the rest of the bikers are totally law-abiding and doing all that. By mistake, he gave, let's call them. I don't know what we call them. So the 1%ers became the backpatch clubs that threw shade, used crime, sold drugs, but was still very much a brotherhood. So that 1%. When you hear me talk about that, we're talking about motorcycle clubs that officially are outlaw. And by outlaw, that 1% is covered. So there is a criminal element. As every single bike club will tell you, right? Each bike club is not a criminal organisation. They may just have criminals in it. Okay? I used to be part of one of those. I am now not. And I will not show disrespect through other things. I will tell you about the realities of what goes on should you want to do that. There is a podcast out called The Gymcast at the moment, which tells my life story, which is really boring. But if you want to know about that, that's where to go on that. It's on this channel. So you guys, I want to, how do you start building a chapter from solitude? So a chapter, again, is like a club, a place.
Yeah.
So you're the Nomad chapter. You're not the England chapter. No.
So I started, and when I started, I said I'm going to call my chapter the Nomad chapter because my understanding of MC protocol is nomads don't claim territory.
Yep.
So I said, we're going to be nomads. We're not going to claim any territory because we don't claim territory. We're not 1%. We are where we are.
Yeah.
And that's it. We're not there because we claim anything. So I said, I'm going to start the UK Nomads. And that's it. And it was me. And then COVID hit.
So then it's you indoors.
And it was me indoors.
Yeah.
And then I was the head of security for Alexandra Palace.
Oh, okay.
When COVID hit, and Haringey Council commandeered, for the want of a better word, Ali Pali, and decided, right, we're using this as a vulnerable food station to get shielded people needed supplies.
Yeah.
And I was walking around, and there were organisations in there that were trying to distribute food all over London. And I heard they got into a heated discussion one day, and I was walking around, and I walked up, I went, what's the problem? You know, I haven't heard you guys arguing like this. And they said, we can't get the food across town quick enough. And I went, have you thought about bikes? And they went, no. I said, well, let's try some bikes, load the bikes up and get the food across. And they went, well, can you do that? I said, well, okay. So I went on Facebook and I went, any bikers, because we want stay at home things. I went, anybody who wants to ride legally and help the community, be at Ali Pali Wednesday at 12 o'clock.
Right.
30 bikers turned up.
Holy shit.
I was like, great, but I will this. And that was an open invite to any bikers.
Yeah.
It was a case of, if you rode, come. And I wore my colours, as I always did. And I never push a club. We don't recruit. We don't, if you want to be one, ask one. That's our philosophy.
Yeah.
So I wore my colours and we got involved and we loaded up the bikes and we rode all across London, feeding the homeless, feeding people. And it ignited something in me.
Right.
And in them as well, because they then came every Wednesday. And every Wednesday we did it on bikes. And then after a while, a few of them were like, well, what's that you wearing? And I said, well, that's my club. You've asked about it. I'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
We got speaking to them, and some of them had the right backgrounds.
Yeah.
And they then started to prospect.
Okay.
And then they earned their way. And a lot of those guys that started with me at Ali Pali are still in the club today.
Right.
Doing things. And we then continued feeding the homeless, feeding other organizations, helping out. And then a lot of that was in London, but a lot of the bikers were coming from the home counties, Herts, Beds, Bucks. They were all coming. So I went to the organisers and I said, look, these guys are travelling to London to feed London.
Yep.
How about feeding their people?
Yep.
And they went, what do you mean? I said, well, let them come, load them up, feed London, and then load them up again when they go home and let them choose where the food goes.
Yeah.
And they went, oh, we like that. We'll do that. So we then started doing that, and they went back, and some of the guys made contact with Dens in Hemel Hempstead and helped them, and all different organisations that then started filtering back helping.
Yep.
And then it grew from there. And then I decided, you know what, I actually really enjoy the charity work. I'm going to register a charity and let's have a go at this. And one of the philosophies because being a law enforcement motorcycle club, or LEMC, we wear it on our back. We don't hide. We you know, I'm not pretending to be a 1% club. I'm not pretending to be a traditional MC. We have women in our club. We can't be tradition.
Yep.
Okay. But we wear it on our back and we know who we are and we're quite happy with who we are. We're not trying to be tough guys in pubs or anything like that. No. We want to help people.
Yep.
So decided, right, okay, let's move forward with the charity side of it. And to be part of our club, you've got to have our background. You've got to ride a bike that is of our caliber, and you've got to have a passion for helping the community. That is our criteria to be part of our club. And the prospecting period is to prove your dedication in helping the community.
Yeah. Can I just, prospects. The trouble with me is because I come from this world, as we had this conversation. We did. Like, I know what all this means. Yeah. So a prospect is somebody, when you go to a club and you're accepted. So you, in the real world, I can't speak for you, but like you drink in their pubs, you go with them, you join in their social stuff. Normally you're a thing called a hang around, which usually lasts about a year, where people start to trust you and they know if they like you. Then they will approach you and say, do you want to escalate? Yeah. And then you step into a prospect role. What that normally means is the bottom rocker, and sometimes the top, but not the main insignia, is what you fly.
So you're like an apprentice.
An apprentice, yeah, a prospect. It's
Probationary member.
Probationary member. Absolutely that. So you are then basically, from my recollection, hazed, given every job you can that will get you into some kind of crap, and you don't complain and you do it. It's probably slightly different for you because this is the 1% lifestyle. Yeah. The reality is that you have to prove yourself for a predetermined amount of time, and then the club will either vote you in or vote you out. So nothing ever is assured.
Yeah.
Because if you prove yourself to be untrustworthy, or somebody who can't keep their mouth shut, or somebody who just isn't going to do the job, then you're bounced. So you've wasted 2 years of your life in some things and whatever that is. So a prospect is somebody who is literally a prospective member of your club, probationary member of your club. Right. So when you start something like this, and you're on your own, it was really useful situationally for COVID to bring you into that. But then you found this, and obviously I run my own charity, so and you find this zeal almost.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with ego. It's got nothing to do with that, but you realise how many people need your help.
Yeah.
And you can actually do something. So 3 years you've been...
3 years of charity's been running. Yeah.
So starting your own charity is not easy because you have to go through that paperwork stuff.
Yeah.
And we were so lucky that the people in the Charity Commission office helped Nicky, who is his wife, and I to say the right things.
Thankfully, I reached out to a Scottish lad who's a charity consultant.
Right.
And I reached out to him because I applied 3 times, and 3 times they said no.
Right.
And I was like, I went to him and I said, what am I actually doing wrong? Because when they say no, they don't say no because. They just go, no. And I went to him and he literally came back to me and he went, I've changed something. He said, submit it now and see what happens. And I went, what have you changed? Because all of the paperwork looks the same. And he said, I've changed it from Kaotic Angel, LEMC, to Kaotic Angel Foundation. That's all he changed.
Yep.
And I went, oh, okay. And I submitted it. Within 3 hours, I got an email saying, here's your charity number.
Yep.
And I looked at him and I went, well, why was that? He went, because I don't think they want to make a biker thing a charity. And I went, yeah, but you've got other charities like Blood Barks and things like that. And he went, yeah, but they may have looked too much into, they think law enforcement, you're enforcing the law as a charity. And I went, okay, I get that. So we made Chaotic Angel Foundation.
Because they will take it absolutely face value.
Yeah.
And that's what
not the Guardian Angels. Do you remember the Guardian Angels?
We were turned down once because the person that I'd asked to help me with it just wrote, well, no fault of their own, not throwing mud, but just ballsed it up, said the wrong things. Yeah. And in the end, I got annoyed. And I said, right, I'm going to do this. And I did it. And then I went to Nicky, who can formulate sentences on paper, which I can't. And I said, right, help. And she helped. And then they themselves sent back going, if you were to write this,
just so...
in this box, on that piece. And I went, right. Literally cut and paste. Because if you speak their language as well, that's the coup. So having someone in the know, if you're starting a charity and if you're thinking about it and you're serious about it, 1, remember there is no money. Right. 2, remember that you do actually have to be dedicated and really want to do it. I love the fact that now, instead of talking to a camera for no reason, the fact that we put this is a shit saying, money where our mouth is. We actually did what we said we were going to do, and we're now a year and a bit in. Yeah. And we are making a difference every day. I sat in a room today, right, with 5 people who come off the street, one of which was going through hell. And every member around that table, which was a very small number for us, it's usually 10, 11, but it's January. Yeah. This one person needed a room to hear them. Yeah. And that room heard them. No one was giving solutions. No one was getting involved, but they were all there to hold this person up. Now, feeding people... We've got to the stage in this country now where people cannot, even if they're working, and some families have 2 jobs, right? 3 jobs. They're all trying to make it work, that they cannot always make ends meet. Yeah. And I've seen the start of your, I went to come and visit, and then I got a phone call from my tattoo shop when I had it going, oh, it's all gone over, and I had to leave. Yeah. But I saw the queue. Yeah. and I saw Chris walking in, and I saw your guys as like a thing. Everyone smiling, everyone saying hello, everyone welcoming these people who need help but don't need judgment.
Yeah.
And I love that, right? And I've said to you, I'm completely respectful of your club and your identity. Not that that matters to you, but I want to look at, you know, the reality of why we're feeding you are feeding so many people. You know, so like on a Saturday, rough number
200
at least
in an hour.
In an hour.
200.
Right. So how does it work? How do you collect the food?
So there's a huge amount of waste because obviously when I grew up, and especially in South Africa, you would go to the fridge and open the milk, and you would open it up and smell it. And if it smelled all right, and then you had a little taste, if it tasted all right, you used the damn milk.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people go and they look at a date and go, oh, it's not today, throw it away.
Yeah.
We in such a wasteful stage at the moment. And stores can't sell things that have a date on them.
Yep.
And they were just throwing it away.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let, even homeless people would go to their skips and they would chase them away from their skips because of legalities. If any of them got food poisoning or anything, they
could sue.
They were liable.
Yeah.
So when we set up the charity and we had our public liability insurance, they said, well, we'll give you the food.
Yeah.
And then you can give it on.
You can take the.
Then you can take the hit. And I went, okay, well, if anyone's going to sue me for feeding them, fair play.
Yeah, good on you.
You know,
crack on.
And we went and we get food from all the major supermarkets now.
Yeah.
All the big supermarkets, even the little ones, the little corner stores. Rather than throw things away, they'll donate it to us. We work with an organisation called Neighbourly that structure everything.
Yeah.
And we go and we collect, and it's a huge operation.
Yeah.
Where we go and collect and tons of food throughout the year that we collect. And then we put it out on Saturday morning at Longmeadow Evangelical Church in Stevenage, and on Sunday at Varden Road Lytton Players Car Park. We've also extended into Bulldog, where on a Thursday we're at St. Mary's in Bulldog, so we help there as well. And we take the food, put it on display, and people come, whether they... Food banks, we're not a food bank.
No.
So a food bank is transactional. A lot of times you've got to, they means test. What some people don't know is that you can only use so many food bank referrals a year.
Right. So I work for a charity, Juglink, and we are told by the Trussell Trust that we are supposed to give someone a food bank no less, right, or no more than once every 6 weeks. Right, which is a food voucher. I have to do the referral. They issue a voucher code. Yeah. Right. We have told them that because I'm dealing with front face addicts who don't have money for food, we get a leniency. But we do get an email every so often going, "You're doing too much."
Yeah.
So you guys, you're not vetting. There's no stipulation. If you turn up and you're hungry, you can get food.
If you stand in that queue, you get food, because it's not just for people that are destitute. It's for people that want to help the environment and not let that food end up as waste.
Yeah.
So all we ask is, if you can donate only what you can if you can.
Yeah.
We don't do minimum donations. We don't stipulate that, because then we're isolating people that can't afford it.
Yeah.
Funny enough, you mentioned the charity. I wasn't going to, but you mentioned them, and I was invited as a biker to Oxford University as a guest speaker.
Right.
On how we eliminate food poverty in the UK, and it was broadcast all over the world, Vietnam, everything. And the CEO of said charity got up and said, to eliminate food poverty, we need more money. We need more money. And I sat there, and my colleague looked at me and went, "You're not going to do what I think you're going to do, are you?" And I went,
yes, I am.
I went, "Yeah, I absolutely am." And I walked up and I went, "That's the CEO. They're on 80 grand a year." I said, "They've got 23 million in the bank. They need more money to eliminate food poverty." I said, "This is what we do with no money." And I showed what we did.
Yep.
And her reply was, "Well, we don't give our clients substandard food." I said, our food's actually fresher.
Yeah.
I said, because we put it out before the supermarkets even let it go bad.
Yeah.
And we work with an organisation, a wonderful organisation called Flamingos.
Yep.
And they've got a warehouse in Stevenage, and they do all of the fruit and veg sorting for all of the major supermarkets. And they literally give us 15 to 20 crates of food every Friday night. And this is the freshest.
That's fresh from field to salt.
That's it. The freshest stuff you can get.
Right.
So our argument was, well, none of what we give is subpar.
Substandard, yeah.
You know, and we push forward. They just don't like the fact that we don't. It's not about money.
No.
It's about people.
Yeah.
It's the feeling, and you must know, if you can help one, it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know, and people look at you and go, oh, well, yeah, you've only helped one person. Yeah, but that one person could help another 5.
Right. The one thing you learn as well, in my case as the CEO of this charity, is the fact that when I talk to one human being, there are 10 people attached to that human being.
Yeah.
Be it kids, be it husbands, be it wives, be it whatever the fuck. Right. And if I just see one human being, right, I am limited to those blinkers. If I see the whole structure, I can then honestly go to a funding person and say, look, I've touched the lives of 150 people this week.
Yeah.
And actually I've seen 15. And I'm honest about it. I'm not saying that. I say, look, I've got 15 clients this week, but this knock-on effect affects these people.
Yeah.
And if they say to me, what do you mean? And I can then stand there and go, this person has 3 kids. This has got 5 kids. These people have got a community that they're coming to me to help with. And that understanding of knock-on effect, right, without money. We're lucky enough to get one grant which help us pay people's fuel bills.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a one-off thing. I've got to jump through hoops, and I'm not ungrateful for this, but we still have to go through the forms and interview them. The one thing that I don't do is I do not get them to justify it. I'm not looking for them to justify their poverty, because that makes me feel sick.
Yeah.
But we can only do that because we've been given the opportunity to do that by somebody else.
Yeah.
What we do every single week, however, is there are at least 2 to 4 meetings every week where people can just come.
Yeah.
They can have a free cuppa. They can sit, and if they don't want to talk, they don't need to. If they have a huge problem, I can probably help them. If they've got the tiniest problem, I will help them.
Yeah.
From cutting hedges to full mental health psychosis.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with everything in between. What's amazing now is that it's charities like yours and to a smaller degree mine, is we're making a fucking difference.
Huge difference.
And the trust will trust. I'm not putting them down. I'm not saying anything. But if it becomes about money, what the fuck are you doing? Because you do all of this without money. Tell me, you told me a story about your vans, right? So you need logistics. You are carrying hundreds of pounds worth of food in weight every day.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
With great difficulty at the moment.
Yeah.
Because our wet belt on our van's gone. So that's terminal for the van.
Yeah.
So we've got to get a new van.
Right.
Tomorrow, Friday, I'm going to Liverpool to get a new van.
Right. How did you get your original van?
So our original van, so we got a grant, we got some money sent to us initially from a accountancy firm, and we bought our first van.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great van. It wasn't in the best shape, but it was a little workhorse. Then we managed to get another van, a newer van that was sent through from Wirral Vans. They sponsored us a van, and we paid for a van.
Yeah.
That's the van that the wet belt went.
Right.
So now we're in a position where we've got no van, and for the last 3 weeks, our volunteer army have literally put food in their cars and done it all on their own.
Yeah.
And we now scrounging and scraping to get a van. So we get the van on Friday, and then we'll look at how we settle the monetary side of it and things, because certain charities have to have a certain amount of money every year to prove you're viable.
Yeah.
If you're not getting money in, then you're not viable. And then what are you going to do? Shut us down? We feed 15,000 people a year.
Yeah. Sustainability is a word that I hear a lot.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation about payment for different things with Lee earlier. Sustainability means that we have the money to function.
Yeah.
Right. And at the start we had nothing. And I've said in another podcast, we've raised in excess of 20 grand to do the work we do. And if we don't have that, when we submit our accounts, which we have to do every year, then we will be shut down.
Yep.
Because we're not sustainable.
Yeah.
Now, what's hilarious is that the Charity Commission, who I have no beef with, right? But the Charity Commission themselves set out rules. And the reason they do this is if you're not sustainable, then there is liable for corruption. There is an ability to raise money to take it. So if the people around you aren't able to sustain their life, then they might want to take other funds from.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I've been in a position where I've been absolutely fucking skint and done it. And I was like, right, what can we do with this? And, ask a question. The question was no. And I'm like, right, we're done. Let's move. Right. So you have to be aware that if you're starting this, there has to be a way. So you have a job, right? You're Angel Mobile Tires.
Yep.
Right. Now, we've all got businesses. I run a mentoring business, and I shut down my tattoo shop in August after 30 years. Thank God. And it's time now to realise that the smaller charities, and I said this earlier, the smaller charities are now becoming the fourth, service. So I am having mental health professionals refer clients to me because they know that I can help.
Yeah.
But they are coming from the money, referring to us.
Yeah.
You guys presumably are told, like people say about your service to others who are hungry and they can't get help other way, they'll send them to you. I wouldn't be at all surprised if the Trust or Trust has sent people to you saying we can't help you.
To be honest, I wouldn't say anything like that. I know that we get referrals from government organisations that actually refer people to us to help, and not just for food, but. We've certainly dealt with there was a male and female that had medical treatment, and they needed carers after hospital, and the carers refused to go in the property because the property wasn't of a standard for them because they were hoarders.
Oh, okay.
And they went, well, we're not giving them medical treatment. And we then said, well, what about some cleaners? Get some cleaners in to get it so they can get the medical treatment. And the cleaners went, we're not doing that. So there was this vicious circle of, well, the cleaners aren't cleaning and the medics aren't going in. So these people are, now what?
Yeah.
And we went, you know what? Get some masks on, get some gloves on, we'll go do it.
Yeah.
And we went in there and we did it and we cleaned it out and said to the carers,
there you go.
Give them the medical treatment they need.
Yep.
And we stepped away and did that because we cut through the red tape, we cut through the bullshit.
That's the word.
Yeah,
cutting through the bullshit and enabling what needs to happen. And I love that.
Everyone, the thing I hate is when people hide behind remit. Oh, it's not in our remit. You know what? Your remit is what you make it. Move the goalposts and help people. If you want to help people, help people.
Yeah.
If you don't want to help people, hide behind your remit.
Yeah.
And that's where we go out and we will do, and we always say the charity slogan is wherever, whenever, however.
Yeah.
If we can, we will. Yeah. And that's what we do. The food has taken up a large proportion of what we do because we're very good at it. We've got good supply on that. And that makes a huge impact. But we help schools that are underfunded. We've got donations from John Lewis and things like that for playgrounds and things. We've gone and painted the schools because they don't have the funding to do it.
Yep.
So we've gone and done it for the kids. We also do an initiative called Feeding the Future because we found out that a lot of kids are going to school hungry.
Yep.
And rather than that, we went, well, we've got from our Sunday food station, we've got food and stuff left over and we collect on a Sunday night. So Monday morning, we go to 4 local schools, divvy that food all up and go feed the kids.
Yeah.
If they need food, feed them. And we do that.
That's fucking awesome.
Every week.
The ability, right? So sustainability for you isn't about money; it's about feeding kids.
It's
so,
about,
which is
and feeding everyone.
Feeding everyone, yeah.
Feeding everyone.
The other thing as well is that I love that. Wherever, whenever people do, they are blinkered. And I came to you on the phone. Actually, you were just about to fly out somewhere, and I'm like, I want to do something. Are you in? And you just went, yeah. Just call me.
Yeah.
And so there is scope for you and I to work together.
Yeah.
You've just got a place, though.
Yeah, we've just got a building now. I say we just got we pay for a building. Kindly, we pay for it. The council has given us a building that we pay for.
Yeah.
And we are using that for the community, and the guidance on that is we want that to be a community hub, that if people want to look for jobs, we can help them. If Miss McGinn's needs help with their banking or something, we've got trusted people that can help them with that. We also want to run sort of educational classes, get-togethers, things, community interest classes like foraging and knitting and stuff, where people can come together and have a community space to sit down, relax, and it's for the community. We also do similar to what you do. We've got our Hemel chapter. They also work on mental health, and they do Tea Toast and Talk, which is they run every Saturday, and they get people in and they give them a brew, a cup of tea, a piece of toast, and if they want to talk, they'll engage. If they don't want to talk, you can just come in, have a brew, have a warm space, and chill out.
Just chill.
And then
safe warm space is important.
Yeah.
There are some people who don't ever have that, and then so the drop-ins we do with that. Right. What I can say is that we have talked about doing a drop-in at your place in Stevenage. I am going to facilitate that very shortly, which will be me running it. The trouble that I am having is that I cannot be everywhere I want to be.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to have to start picking the projects. But also, if you do want to help charities, volunteering is crucial. But please only volunteer if you really do want to be part of it and not want to go around talking about how you're part of it, because I haven't got time for that. We are running out of time, which is pissing me off because we always do. When you... Sundays, is it once a month on a Sunday? What's the walk?
Once a month, we do the break the stigma walk.
Yep.
Where the third Sunday of every month, and that'll be this
coming up
this Sunday. We get together and we do basically a mental health walk, just to let everyone know it's okay not to be okay.
Yep.
But it's never okay not to talk about it.
Yep.
And we go and we walk around Felons Valley Park. It's a very relaxed environment, very welcoming. People come, bring their dogs, bring their kids, everything.
Yep.
And we go around for a walk, sit, have breakfast, and then we all leave. And it's helped a lot of people. It's helped a lot.
Somebody who I didn't know came into the drop-in, and they've never come back since because they found their feet. But they come in and said, "Do you know where I went the other day?" And I'm like, "No, mate, what's that?" And he said, "I went on a walk with a whole lot of bikers. And when I come out of there, I had a really big grin on my face." And I'm like, "Oh, fucking hell." And I went, "Okay." And I said, "It wasn't the Kaotic Angels, was it?" He went, "Yeah, that's that." And he was just fucking excited. And I thought, do you know what? If ever there was affirmation, right? I know what you guys do and I love it, right? And it's, but him coming into my thing, talking about you, and I just thought, you know what? That's beautiful. Just because you never know who you touch.
Yeah.
And you never know. And just having a walk with a group of people, you can either disappear in a group of people and absorb the feeling, or you can talk to somebody you've never met who won't be dismissive, who won't be arsholic, because they're all there for the same reason. And what's amazing is the fact that a set of bikers who come from wanting brotherhood, wanting acceptance possibly, and looking for a structure to help people are now, how many did you say you feed a year?
15,000 physical people we've clicked last year.
15,000 people have been fed. I don't know what to say to that apart from thank you, because that's amazing. We are going to have to stop.
Yep.
What I want everyone to realise is that you can't always judge a book by its organisation or what it wears. And I have always said, be it in a biker club or with my logos and all of that, if you believe in it, wear it. And this man wears it every day. Yeah. There is one little thing I want to touch on, right? So the 1%er thing, right? Your patch isn't a 1%er patch. The one on the top right.
No, this is a one. So it's a one asterisk on the line, and this was created by a LAPD SWAT sergeant.
Yep.
Saying that every person is responsible for their own arse on the line. Yep. So this is a one arse on the line. It's not.
It's not 1%.
1% is very synonymous with the diamond.
Yep.
And 1%. This is one arse on the line. That's what it stands for, and it means I'm responsible for my own arse.
Right. Right. The reason why I'm ending on that is because that sums up what's going on. I'm responsible for my behaviour, but I will go and help as many people as I can, and that's on me to do so. Thank you for what you do. This won't be the last conversation we have on this. I do want to look at mentoring you, me, Sorin,
Yep.
who I've seen. If you've met his dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
His dog and my dog had a puppy play date.
Right, Cy Savage, big hairy Viking who you've seen twice on our show, right, has got a dog. Go and check him out with that. What's amazing is the ongoing ability for charities like yours and mine to formulate plans to move forward, and that's what we're going to do. So, how can they find you, Chaotic Angels?
So we're on Instagram, or if they want the Kaotic Angel Foundation .com.
Right.
They can get a hold of us there, and if you need any help or assistance, ping us an email, and we will help whenever, wherever, however.
Cool. That's fantastic. Well done, mate. Thank you so much. Next time, no idea what's happening. We do actually have a filming schedule now, and we forgot to release the Christmas show. So we did that 4 weeks ago when you see this. Sorry about that, but it is relevant. So do that. If you need us, coffeeandcoping.org. If you don't need us, talk about the Chaotic Angels, spread the word, because if you don't, you might be stopping someone from finding out about help. And help is what we're all about. We'll see you next time.